The following is an orientation to the Canyon's Teacher Effectiveness Support System, or CTESS. CTESS has been approved and authorized by the Utah State Board of Education as a valid and reliable tool for evaluating educators in Canyon School District. CTESS is founded upon the Utah Effective Teaching Standards and the Canyon School District's Multi-Tiered System of Support, or MTSS framework. The MTSS framework aligns with all state standards. By state law, every educator must be evaluated every year using a reliable and valid evaluation instrument consistent with Utah Effective Teaching Standards. Law also states that administrators must address the needs of educators whose performance does not meet the effective or highly effective rating or expectation. Newly hired licensed employees are provisional with the district for 3 years. A district employee who accepts another position that is substantially different from the position in which career status was achieved, for example, a teacher who accepts a position as a teacher specialist, is returned to provisional status in the new position for 3 years. A mentor will be assigned to all provisional educators. Provisional and probationary educators will be evaluated yearly. An instructional quality rating will be assigned at the mid-year conference, with a summative overall rating being assigned in the spring. Career educators will be evaluated using one of 3 years. Career 1 and Career 2 are growth years. Career 3 is a summative year. CTESS is a comprehensive process designed to support professional growth and excellence of educators. CTESS strives to improve student outcomes by helping educators identify areas of strength and growth in the context of research-validated practices through meaningful feedback, team collaboration, professional learning, and ongoing coaching. The many purposes of CTESS include ensuring that every student receives high-quality instruction every day, developing and supporting effective and highly effective educators, developing a collaborative professional culture to facilitate student learning, recognizing and promoting the use of evidence-based instructional priorities, standards-based teaching and reporting, and professional behaviors, appraising educators according to their effectiveness, and providing a basis for decisions affecting employment. The district standards have been divided into 4 domains: planning, instructing, adjusting, and reflecting, all of which align with Canyon School District's MTSS framework. CTESS has 3 components based on state law: instructional quality, making up 70% of the final rating, that includes self-assessment and goal setting; IPOPS, checklists, educator portfolio, and administrator knowledge; student growth, making up 20%, and stakeholder input, making up 10%. These 3 components combine into a summative overall rating. CTESS ratings are highly effective, indicating an educator who has excelled; an effective rating, indicating an educator whose performance has met the standard; an emerging effective rating, indicating a provisional educator whose performance is minimally effective; a minimally effective rating, indicating a career educator whose performance has not met the standard for successful teaching; and a not effective rating, indicating an educator whose performance has not met the standard for successful teaching. Provisional educators' requirements are summarized on the Provisional Educator Growth Cycle Sheet for years 1, 2, and 3. For Cycle 1 of the first provisional year, educators will attend the Canyons Teacher Support Academy in the fall to learn about CTESS requirements. Formal IPOPs will also be completed prior to November 30th to provide the new educator with timely feedback on their practice. Completion of the academy will prepare the provisional educator to complete all the CTESS requirements for year 1 by March 30th. The provisional educator will then proceed with the growth cycle as outlined. If a provisional educator's instructional quality rating or summative overall rating is not effective, the educator will receive Tier 2 supports, a memo of concern with identified assistance, and will be notified that employment with the district is in question. If the provisional educator's IQR or SOR is minimally effective, effective, or highly effective, the provisional educator advances to the next CTESS cycle. Once a provisional educator has successfully completed Provisional 3 requirements, the educator attains career status and advances to Career 1 of the Career Educator Growth Cycle. The Career Educator's Growth Cycle sheet summarizes the requirements for Career 1, 2, and 3. Please note, the summative overall rating received during Provisional 3 or Career 3 of the growth cycle will be retained during Career 1 and Career 2. Career 1 and Career 2 are growth years which require the self-assessment and goal setting, one observation, and a response to student growth. If a career educator's instructional quality rating or summative overall rating is minimally effective or not effective, the educator will receive Tier 2 supports, a plan of assistance which may not exceed 120 school days, and notification that employment with the district is in question. It is the educator's responsibility to improve performance to satisfactory levels. Career 3 is then repeated. If the career educator's second instructional quality rating is effective or highly effective, the educator is in advance to Career 1, removed from probation, and career status is reinstated. Please note, career educators who have been placed on probation for unsatisfactory performance and are again unsatisfactory within a 3-year period are subject to non-renewal or employment termination pursuant to state law and district policy. If after the second cycle the educator's rating is still minimally effective or not effective, the educator then continues the plan of assistance and is placed on probation. If the educator's rating after the third round is still minimally effective or not effective, the educator's employment with the district is terminated. Here is a review of the processes for CTESS and what is required for each component. The instructional quality component of CTESS consists of several requirements. First is self-assessment and goal setting, also known as the professional growth plan, which correlates with student growth. Each educator must complete a self-assessment and professional growth plan and set goals. The supervisor reviews the self-assessment and professional growth plan and may communicate with each educator about the growth plan in a conference or email. The observation and checklist portions of the instructional quality rating include IPOPs and the meeting participation and ethical conduct checklists, as well as administrator knowledge. IPOPs and checklists can begin 15 calendar days after orientation. Remember, IPOPs are a minimum of 20 minutes. Electronic feedback will be available by midnight on the day following the observation. If not, the observation is void. Only formal IPOPs count toward evaluations, and coaches can and will only do informal IPOPs. For checklists, these observations can occur during faculty meetings, IPLCs, etc. The Educator Portfolio section of the Instructional Quality Rating includes various lines of evidence that show quality instruction. These lines of evidence include lesson planning, IPLC notes, rubrics, professional development, etc. Note, lesson planning evidence can include multiple lesson plans or parts of many lessons. The district does provide a lesson plan template, but is not required to be used. Career 3 educators and all provisional educators will receive an instructional quality rating based on classroom observations, checklists, the educator portfolio, and administrator knowledge. 2 formal IPOPs must be completed on Provisional 1 educators by November 30th. The instructional quality rating for provisional educators in years 2 and 3 is due January 30th. And the instructional quality rating for Provisional 1 and Career 3 educators is due March 30th. The instructional quality rating is then calculated based upon the effectiveness rating for each standard using the rating decision rubric. The student growth component of CTESS consists of a reflection on student growth. For the student growth reflection, all subjects and all grades may be considered. This reflection may become part of the self-assessment and goal setting for the next year. The stakeholder input component of CTESS consists of a reflection based on stakeholder input. Students and parents will be surveyed in October and November. Educators will reflect on and respond to the stakeholder input. Responses will receive an effectiveness rating. The information from the instructional quality rating, stakeholder input, and student growth are then used to determine a summative overall rating, or SOR. At the end of your conference, educators will meet with their administrator to review the professional growth plan and determine if goals were met. They can also discuss next steps or pre-plan the next year's growth plan. The summative overall rating will be discussed based on the instructional quality rating, student growth, and stakeholder input. The administrator must then submit the summative overall rating to Human Resources by May 30th. Following the end of your conference, a copy of the summative overall rating will be placed in your personnel file. If desired, you may submit a written response to any or all parts of the evaluation and have that response attached to your evaluation. You have 15 days after receiving the evaluation results to request a review of the evaluation process. There is a unique version of CTESS for each specialized subgroup. Building administrators will orient educators in these subgroups. These systems all include instructional or performance quality, student growth, and stakeholder input. The complete CTESS manual, which contains all benchmark criteria, can be found by logging into your Data Dashboard CTESS webpage under Resources. If you have any questions regarding this presentation, please feel free to contact your supervisor or Sandra Dahl-Houlihan in Human Resources.